Good day everyone and welcome to BST Watches. My name is Tommy V and today we're going to be talking about your first Rolex. So before getting started, a quick wristwatch check. Since today's a Tuesday, I'm wearing a Speedmaster. Hashtag Speedy Tuesday for the guys that know. And this watch is a Speedmaster, 39 millimeters, has a ETA 7750 base with an annual calendar. We call this one Speedmaster Triple Date because of the annual calendar. It has a day, date, and the month. That's the complication besides the chronograph obviously and the time. Alright, so pretty nice watch. You can check it out at the BST Watch Shop. Now, getting started with the video, I want to tackle 4 different watches. We're going to start talking about the least expensive one, going up to the most expensive one. But all of these watches will be based on the criteria of value. All right, so we're going to check affordable Rolexes. Not really affordable, you know, Rolex is expensive, but the most value you can get on pre-owned Rolex. So let's get started. When we talk about value in Rolex, we can't forget about the vintage watches. If you go back in time, 30 years to, I don't know, 60, 70, you can find gorgeous Oyster Perpetuals that are 34 millimeters or Datejust that are 36 for around $3,500 to $4,500 on the Datejust. But if you go to Oyster Perpetuals, you can get them from $3,000 to $3,500. I'll show you one we have in store. We have a white dial Oyster Perpetual. Here I'm going to insert an image so you can take a look. Has an engine turned bezel and the Roman numerals. Just a gorgeous dial, very classic look. And that engine turned bezel gives it a very elegant look that is in white gold. Now, when we go back to vintage, you know, you have to take a little bit more care of the watches, but you get an awesome watch for the price of an Omega or maybe a Tudor. Even less than the Black Bay, man. You can get a gorgeous Rolex for that price. And these are Rolexes. They're going to keep awesome time, just like modern watches do. Obviously, you have to take a little bit more care of them. The water resistance is off. Forget about the water resistance. You can't get it wet. And you have to take a little bit more care of the crystal. But those are really, it's almost nothing to care about if you have such a gorgeous watch. Obviously, you're going to want to take pretty good care of it. All right, so now another watch are modern Oyster Perpetuals. If you go to the store right now, to a Rolex boutique, you can find a modern Oyster Perpetual for $5,000. Now, if you go pre-owned, you can get the ones in store for around $4,500 to $4,800. It's not a big discount because, you know, Rolex retains their value incredibly, and even on those smaller pieces, there's still pretty good demand for them. Now, the good thing about going modern, you have the same watch, 34 millimeters. Now, the modern watches, they have thick lugs, okay? They call these maxi cases. So in the last 10, 20 years, Rolex watches got an update, and almost all of them have wider lugs, from the Submariner, the GMT, all the way to their Oyster Perpetuals. One of the only ones that didn't get the update was the Daytona. But either way, so the modern 34 millimeter watches, I'm gonna insert an image here. Here's a beautiful sunburst green dial, beautiful watch. You can find that one for around $4,800 because it's one of the latest ones. But the perks of having the modern one are the sapphire crystal, obviously, the modern movement that has awesome shock protection. You can use it to play sports for anything. And the build quality on the modern Rolex is much better than the older ones. It's just better by far. We've talked about the most value in Rolex watches. The least expensive one in the line is the Oyster Perpetual, as you guys know. But the Rolex Air King, which was released in 1945, is actually the oldest model from their current catalog. Except obviously the Oyster Perpetual, but all the ones that aren't the Oyster Perpetual, from the Air King, the Datejust, the Submariner, the GMT, the Air King was actually the first one, made to commemorate British force generals that had fought in World War II. It's just a beautiful story for a beautiful watch. Here I'm gonna insert an image of one we have in store. This is a 34 millimeter one with a rhodium plated concentric dial. That dial, it's just insane. There's no watch like this. If you check out the current Rolex catalog, there is no watch that has this concentric dial. We call this concentric because it has the small circular pattern in the little circle inside the dial. You can see it in the image. It's just a beautiful watch, and the color, that blue, it's just stunning. It's beautiful. Now with this watch, this one is it's not vintage. It's around, I don't know, 5 to 6 years old, because the Air King was changed up in 2017 to the newer model, 39 millimeters. But the Air King has had a 34 millimeter case throughout history, always. So I think that's the better watch to get. The 39 millimeter one, the modern one, it's still a great value in Rolex. You can find that watch for around a little bit less than $6,000, which is incredible for a 39 millimeter watch. It's pretty big, and you have the modern 904L steel, the modern look, modern case, and you have a latest watch. So the latest Air King, that's 39 millimeters, is also a great buy. I'm going to insert an image here. But going back to the one we have in store, the 34 millimeter Air King, I think it's much better because it has the historic size from the Air King, and nowadays small watches are getting popular again. So I think Rolex will take a step back and reduce the Air King size from the new one. But either ways, so we talked about 4 different watches. These are all great watches to start. If you have any of these, it's not really an entry level watch. It's entry for Rolex, but it's a $4,000 to $5,000 watch. They're just, it can't be, they're not inexpensive. Obviously, it's going to take you a while to get it, and it's a huge accomplishment if you do. So guys, I hope you have a great time. I hope you get your first Rolex. Please comment if you got one. What was your first one? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Check out the watches we talked about at the BST Watch Shop, bstwatches.us. Also, the Speedmaster, don't forget about it. #Speedy Tuesday, guys. See you later.